Although I'm obviously no expert, it wouldn't surprise me if the Snowman turned out to be a historic flop. That isn't a slight against Joe Nesbo, or Michael Fassbender, or Rebecca Ferguson, or Tomas Alfredson, who are all talented people. But it is a slight against whoever's in charge of the Snowman's marketing campaign, because it is absolutely preposterous. The trailer, as we already know, attempted to wring a non-existent sense of dread out of some actual snowmen, even though snowmen sit slightly below porgs in their ability to terrify the populace. And now we have the posters which, although they ostensibly take the form of ransom notes from a serial killer, look as if they were drawn by a slightly distracted toddler. It's hard to think of a movie poster as unintentionally hilarious as The Snowman's. However, I'm sure we can come pretty close. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, if only we could forget. Photograph PR. If you've made a middling rom-com and you want to draw attention to it, why not create a series of guerrilla-style posters that go out of their way to disparage the female lead character by name, while barely referencing the film at all? Well, perhaps because you've picked a relatively common name for your character, and people who share that name are likely to feel victimized and terrified by it. This was the case with Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which announced itself with handwritten posters reading "You suck, Sarah Marshall, you do look fat in those jeans, Sarah Marshall, and my mom always hated you, Sarah Marshall," that only succeeded in annoying real-life Sarah Marshalls, or, worse, the family of a Sarah Marshall who just died. Yogi Bear. Two bears, one innuendo. Photograph PR. One of two things happened here. One possibility is that the Yogi Bear marketing team simply wanted to play up the partnership between Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, making them both look as happy and approachable as they could while utilizing their famous height difference, and decided to adapt the phrase "great things come in pairs" to reflect their everyday nature. The other possibility is that they knew both meanings of come and both meanings of bear. One of these possibilities definitely happened, and I'm not sure which is worse. Undine. Fake truth. Photograph PR. The poster for Colin Farrell drama Undine has only retroactively become excruciating, and that's all down to its tagline. Back in 2009, "The truth is not what you know, it's what you believe" seemed like nothing more than a meaningless jumble of words that appeared to have more emotional resonance than it actually did. Fast forward 8 years and it's become the primary slogan for everything bad in the world. The truth is not what you know, it's what you believe is what caused Trump and Brexit and countless other global catastrophes. It is post-truth incarnate. Tomb Raider. Is that uncomfortable? Alicia. Photograph PR. A poster more notable for its witless use of Photoshop than anything else. At this stage, nobody has seen the new Tomb Raider movie, but judging by Alicia Vikander's appearance here, it's likely to be the story of a woman tragically born with a foam pool noodle for a neck, who realizes her potential for raiding tombs after spinning her head around like a concussed owl for 3.5 hours. The accidental husband and his accidental cardboard wife. Photograph PR. You haven't seen The Accidental Husband. Of course you haven't. Nobody has. However, from its poster we can safely assume that Colin Firth and Jeffrey Dean Morgan both play men in love with the same cardboard Uma Thurman cinema standee. However, their love is compounded by the fact that they're both suing a local surgeon for botched arm transplant operations. How will I ever get cardboard Uma to love me if my hand looks absolutely nothing like the rest of my body? Firth whines at one point. Bangkok. Dangerous. Thumb and Thumber. Photograph PR. I asked a few friends if they knew of any unintentionally awful movie posters, and the response was universally, "What about that film where Nicolas Cage's thumb looks like a penis?" So, behold, here is the Bangkok Dangerous poster, in which Nicolas Cage's thumb looks like a penis. Street Kings, and the Magic Gun. Photograph PR. Again, this is a film I haven't seen because life is finite and my time here is precious. However, it seems to be about Keanu Reeves' magic gun, a sassy little thing that apparently fires even when Keanu's hand is nowhere near the trigger. Can these two lovably mismatched rogues, a cop who only wants to kill some people and a gun who wants to mow people down indiscriminately, find commonality by the third act? Fingers crossed. 12 Years a Slave. Christopher Irvin at Spurvin. Also, look at this Italian poster for 12 Years a Slave. Pic.twitter.com. Dinklas. March 3, 2014. You remember 12 Years a Slave, right? It won Oscars for its unflinching portrayal of Brad Pitt's face, right up nice and close, beaming against a glorious sky, at the exclusion of everything else, for 2.5 hours. Actually, now I come to think of it, there might have also been a black man in the film. I can't remember who he was, though, because he was barely in it and you could never see his face properly. Still, Brad Pitt. Confessions of a Shopaholic. Confessions of a Photoshopaholic. Photograph PR. Usually, women find their bodies have been manipulated to increase their sexual availability. Witness Keira Knightley in the King Arthur poster. For example, she later criticized her strange droopy tits on the poster. Is it better or worse, then, that Isla Fisher only had her shoulder, elbow and forearm photoshopped impossibly for this? A newcomer would be forgiven for thinking that Confessions of a Shopaholic was a film about a woman who deliberately mangled her arm in a car door to stop herself from buying any more things. Though, to be fair, that does sound like a far better film. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Easy to mock. Photograph PR. And now to my all-time favorite movie poster. 3 months before the release of the final Hunger Games movie, the film studio attempted to gee up some interest with a countdown campaign, 100 days until the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, it said. However, because the film's title was so unwieldy, some of the words had to be moved around. And so until was sandwiched between 100 and days, and the final 0 of 100 had a slice chopped out of it, and not a single person realized what they'd done until the posters went up and everyone wondered why a young adult movie poster suddenly had an incredibly offensive C-word written right in the middle of it. Sorry, the Snowman, I take it back. This remains the high-water mark of bad posters.